a state again where we build things.
We're going to have to take on the corporate special interests that are driving up your costs and profiting off you.
We need to fight for the hardest working and the lowest paid. We have to fight for the next generation.
Everything in California is broken because of their policies.
I'm the only candidate on this stage that refuses corporate donations.
I know what it looks like to achieve the American dream in California, and I know it's closed off to far too many.
Improve our schools, and we had a 60% increase in the graduation rate.
We can build 2 million housing units. We will tax billionaires. We will provide a tax credit to working people.
8 candidates for governor, one big debate on the top issues facing Californians. Tonight, live in-depth coverage and analysis of CBS California governor's debate to help voters decide. Good evening, I'm Rudabeh Shahbazi. Pat Harvey moderated our debate tonight. We'll hear from her just a little bit later on in the show. But first, we have team coverage tonight on CBS California's governor's debate. Let's start with our political reporter, Tom Wait. He's live at Pomona College, where 8 candidates debated the issues facing our state. Tom.
And good evening to you, Rudabeh. It was a hard-charging, intense, and dramatic debate. We got to see the candidates engage with each other, challenge each other. Now it will be up to the voters to decide who won. A battle to break through.
$3 gas cut your electric bills in half.
Those who say they're going to cut the gas tax have to also say what they're going to replace it with.
8 candidates on the stage, all fighting to grab the top 2 spots in the June primary.
California is the 4th largest economy in the entire world. What do we care about a cut to medical?
Does that mean we support single payer in California?
Absolutely not. If you want socialism, go somewhere else.
CBS LA co-hosted the event at Pomona College in Claremont. Our Pat Harvey was one of the moderators. The showdown lasted an hour and a half on a range of topics. Our new CBS News exclusive polling shows affordability continues to be the #1 issue for voters.
I was in Altadena yesterday talking to people who'd lost their houses. We need to work to shorten and reduce the cost of permitting.
One of the biggest reasons we're not growing jobs is we don't have anywhere for workers to live. I've also rolled out policies for free childcare. That is a game changer for California.
I bought a home at 25 years old. Young people like the young people here at Pomona College can't do that anymore.
I would call in the insurance commissioner. I would call in those insurance companies.
What would be the cause of the state of emergency?
He can't.
The high prices and the fact that people are losing their insurance coverage without any explanation.
Some notable clashes between Democrat Katie Porter and Republican Chad Bianco.
Donald Trump's cuts, we have to make sure we're protecting our hospitals.
I feel like I'm in the twilight zone here. We have a group of 20-year-old kids, 20-ish, and we're just sitting here lying to them.
Sparks also flew on solving the homeless crisis.
The truth is we're closing the last large encampment in San Jose, formerly known as the Jungle. We did 50 days of outreach.
We have 10,000 teenagers who are homeless.
I actually
in this
blamed
state.
you and your policies.
Well,
not
you can, but if you have any ideas, share them. Otherwise, stop wasting the public's dollars to steal ballots and to try and keep people from voting.
This crisis that has gone on for so long, it shames our state. The fact that you've got people living in these conditions, we would never tolerate someone we love living in these conditions.
Our latest CBS News poll shows that the candidates are pretty close together, at least the top-tier candidates, with more than 20% still undecided. So we'll see if this debate moves the needle. Ballots come out in just days. Remember, the top 2 candidates in the June primary move on to compete in the November general election. Reporting live in Claremont, I'm Tom Wait, CBS LA.
Tom, thank you. Students at Pomona College were able to watch the debate on campus, in the audience as well at a watch party. That's where our Laurie Perez was. And Laurie, what did students think of the debate?
Well, they thought a lot of things. If you ask me, this was really the best place to watch the debate. You know, these kids are not concerned about being polite. It was really unfiltered reaction. And I don't know if they had people here, but it really would have behooved the campaigns to be here and see these kids reacting with, in real time with no filters.
The problem in California is people can't afford to live here.
It was dinner and a show at Prairie Dining Hall tonight. Students and staff from the Claremont colleges watching tonight's debate just a few buildings away from the debate stage. And afterwards, they had thoughts.
What an amazing show. I'm so glad that I got to be in the audience. It was probably the best thing I've ever seen in a theater. It was wonderful.
There was a lot going on. I think a lot of us saw that, both with candidates interrupting one another. That's not what we learned when I was in speech and debate in high school.
And I know it's like a short time period that they have, but just kind of felt like non-answers, a little bit of like just filler in a way.
Education changed my life.
Not surprisingly, these young voters are focused on the future of California, and whether they can see themselves here down the road.
I want a place that's affordable and a place that's safe, in terms of like socially, but also in terms of natural disasters.
Do you ever worry that perhaps you will not be able to stay here in California?
Oh, absolutely. Affordability is a huge issue for me. I feel lucky to be here now because I get to go to college and that allows me to have housing here, but once I graduate, I really don't know what the future holds. I might have to leave, I might get to stay, we'll see.
I think it was helpful in that it really showed what candidates were focused on moving on the future and which ones really just want to relitigate the past.
Many here are first-time voters or new voters, like San Diego native Ayami. This will be her first time voting for a California governor, and she's weighing her options.
I actually learned a lot. I was really able to kind of hear more about the lived experiences of the individuals that were on stage.
And it did matter a lot to the students that the debate was here on campus. It really gave them an opportunity to get engaged and get excited about the race more intensely and earlier than they might have had the debate not been here. We are live on the Pomona College campus. I'm Laurie Perez. Back to you.
Laurie, thank you. And now for some local analysis with perspective from both sides of the political spectrum. Joining me tonight is LA County Republican Party Chair Roxanne Hogue and longtime LA City and County leader and director of UCLA Luskin School of Public Affairs, Zev Yaroslavsky. Welcome back to you both.
Thank you again.
Okay, Zev, let's start with you. What did you think? Were there any fireworks tonight?
I think the fireworks were primarily between the moderator and the second segment and the rest of the panel. I thought it was a chaotic debate. I'm not sure anybody broke out. I thought some of them performed well. I thought on the Republican side, you can speak for them, but I thought Steve Hilton did well, and I thought the Riverside sheriff probably didn't do as well as he did last time. On the Democratic side, I thought Becerra held his own. I thought Katie Porter did well, and I thought she did well in previous debates too. And I think Steyer is stuck where he is, and we'll see. It's a very close race, and all the way around him, you have 4 or 5 people who are within 3 or 4 points of each other. And the election, the ballots are going to be mailed out next week, and people need to start to make up their minds. And I hope they'll coalesce around a handful of them so that you have at least one Democrat and one Republican in the November runoff.
What do you think, Roxanne? It's still so wide open.
I hope the opposite. I hope that we do get 2 Republicans in the top 2, because anyone who watched this debate, which was a little chaotic, and the previous one, saw that there are 2 adults in the room who have solutions and lost opportunity. And far be it from me to give advice to the Democrats, but they spent way too much time fighting each other. You're supposed to aim your arrows outside the tent, and nobody understood that mission today.
Well, let's take a little look. This was a clip I noticed. It was Matt Mahan. He came back at the Republicans, but also attacked his fellow Democrats. Let's take a look at that.
Pat, they're all wrong. They're all wrong. Let me explain why. Give me 1 second here. First of all, Steve, Chad, Trump's tax cuts are cruel. We see vulnerable people who are losing coverage who need it. So you're wrong to defend Trump's tax cuts. On the other hand, Tom, Katie, we don't know how to pay for single payer, and we see countries with single payer struggling with long lines and cuts to care.
Okay, Roxanne, what do you make of that?
Matt Mahan, sadly, is like a minister without portfolio, a man without a country. He is making what he hopes is a moderate argument for the moderate lane, but then he realizes what party he's a member of, and so he drops several "and I hate Trump" missives, which gets him nowhere.
Zev?
About Matt Mahan, I think he's gotten started a little too late. There are a bunch of folks up in Silicon Valley who are funding his campaign, and they're trying to get him into contention. And he may catch fire. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility, but I'm not sure it's probable because he got started very late. On the very issue that he was talking about there, and that Mayor Villaraigosa was talking about, the notion that the state of California can fill in what the federal government has cut back on health care is preposterous. I know a little bit about that. The federal government spends on Medi-Cal about 75% of the Medi-Cal budget comes from the federal government, and the rest of it comes from the state. The state can't triple its budget just to cover that cut. It's devastating, and it's devastating to a lot of people. And I think Mr. Bianco is off base on that one.
And Roxanne, I want to talk about Sheriff Bianco a little bit more. We talked about they debated the issue of homelessness, the crisis there, and he and Tony Thurmond had this tense exchange. Let's take a look at that.
What I'm hearing from you, Mr. Bianco, is just horrendous. To blame the victims. We have 10,000 teenagers who are homeless.
I actually
in this
blamed
state.
you and your policies.
Well,
not
you can, but if you have any ideas, share them. Otherwise, stop wasting the public's dollars to steal ballots and to try and keep people from voting.
And I ask you about this because we were just talking about this right before we got onto this segment, and you said that to you that kind of came out of left field, right?
Well, Mr. Thurmond is a desperate man clutching at straws, and that's why you had that bizarre non sequitur. It's also rich to lecture the one person on the stage whose job entails going out into the field and dealing with the poor, broken souls who are suffering from whether it's drug addiction or mental illness, which one came first. That's the bulk of our problem. Californians know that. It's not a housing problem. It is a recovery, substance abuse, mental illness problem.
And so do you think Sheriff Bianco's aggressive stance helped him today?
No, and I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think that's the problem. I think right now the fastest growing demographic of people becoming homeless are people who have been evicted from their apartments. The cost of housing, especially for low income, low and moderate income people who've been evicted, it's a crisis of major proportions for them. Now, if you're out on the street for a year or more, you can end up being addicted, or you could end up being dependent on alcohol, or you can end up with mental illness. But most of the people who become homeless in the first place are not handicapped by those things. If you want to end homelessness, is an old slogan from a George W. Bush czar on homelessness who taught me a lot. If you want to end homelessness, you got to give people a home. You got to get them to a point where they can have a home and manage the home. And unless you do that, you won't solve the problem.
George W. Bush got sober, which was how you solved it.
We have to leave it there. Thank you both so much. It was a pleasure having you all night. We appreciate you sticking around.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you.
Thank you. And our coverage of the CBS California governor's debate continues. Coming up at 9:30, we'll hear from our Pat Harvey about what she noticed from her position as a moderator. Mike?